to notice as mainstream media continues to fall apart and collapse that a lot of people who used to work in the mainstream are now moving themselves over into independent platforms, sometimes straddling, doing both at the same time, and sometimes just dropping completely out of mainstream and going straight into the independent platforms. What is the difference between these two roles, and why doesn't everybody do so well when they move from one space to another? I'm glad you asked. Let me explain. First of all, when you work in the mainstream, you only have to please your bosses. When you work in the mainstream, if I work for CNN, for example, it doesn't matter if the audience doesn't like me because the boss is the one who ultimately makes the decision. If the boss likes what I'm saying, I'm going to keep my job regardless of what the audience feels about it, and even with the ratings, depending on how powerful my boss is. However, when I'm in the independent space, the audience determines what I'm doing, and I got to please the audience. If the audience is not responding to what I'm saying, then I have to make adjustments because I have no recourse. There's no one else I can fall back on if the audience is not feeling my approach. This leads to point number two. In the independent space is what we call earned media. The traditional space, mainstream, is not earned media. You already have the media because you just joined a company that's been around for 30 years. They already did the work to build an audience. You just get some of that built-in audience coming to you just because you're connected to them. But when you're independent, you have to earn every minute of media that you get, every minute of attention that you get from the audience. Is a completely different approach, a completely different game. Which leads to point number three. You got to find your niche. What is your lane? What are you about? What space do you occupy? And when people come to your world, what are they going to get? When they mention your name, what do they think of? And when they mention what you talk about, do they think about you? Work on your game.